Just crossed the Buckman Lock, and I'm now on the north side of the Cross Florida Barge Canal. And it looks like I've got about a short road walk, about a mile, and I believe this intersects with State Road 19. Crossing SR 19, heading back into the woods. The trail since State Road 19 has been following these logging roads, and it looks like that'll be the case for the next couple miles or so. And for the most part, they're dry. They have their wet spots, but been able to go around them without a problem. And I checked the weather a few minutes ago, and it looks like it's going to get a little cooler tonight than it did last night, so a low of 30. And I plan on staying at a campsite that's probably another 10 miles or so ahead of me. So I should be able to make it there at least an hour or so before sundown. Crossed Hunter Road about a quarter of a mile back, and now crossing this creek on this old railroad trestle. Just crossed State Road 20. In fact, the trail is following alongside of it right now. And about 4 miles from here, east on 20, is the town of Palatka. They've got a Walmart and things like that. But I was saving that as a potential resupply point if I needed it. But I'm still good on my last resupply from Lake Mary. I am getting a little low on tortillas. But I know there's a convenience store probably about 40 miles up on the trail, right alongside the trail. Hopefully they'll have them. I'm not going to go all the way in Palatka just for tortillas. I'm on the Hoffman Crossing boardwalk. I'm still on the Hoffman Crossing boardwalk. That's right. Still on the Hoffman Crossing boardwalk. I've reached the end of the boardwalk. That was awesome. Can't believe how long that thing was. It's a third of a mile. It's something else. You know, a few hours ago it warmed up quite a bit. It made me think that maybe the forecast was wrong. It wasn't going to get so cold tonight, but just in the last half hour, 45 minutes or so, I felt the temperature really drop. So I think the forecast is probably correct. I need to hurry up and get to my campsite. So this is where I stayed last night. This is the Okamic Shelter, also known as the Rice Creek Hilton. That top part is the loft area. That's where I slept last night. And it did get to 30 degrees this morning for the low, but I was rather comfortable up there. It was kind of nice, and my sleeping bag does a nice job of keeping me warm. And around the site we've got the usual stuff: fire ring, couple benches, picnic table. There's also one of the few sites I've stayed in that this one actually has a working pitcher pump. It's just really convenient when you've got your water source right on the same site as where you're camping. And this location is maybe about a little less than half a mile off the actual Florida Trail. It's well worth it. Nice secluded area. Not a lot around here. Oh, and this has got to come in handy at times. There's a clothesline with clothespins. I'm about to get underway. I think I'm only going to do maybe a short day today, maybe 11, 12 miles. There is another shelter similar to the Rice Creek Hilton. It's called the Iron Bridge Shelter. I'll make my way there, and that's where I'll be staying tonight. Since I crossed State Road 20 yesterday, the trail's actually been inside of the Rice Creek Conservation Area. In fact, a lot of the trail has been right alongside parts of Rice Creek, and I'm at the end of a boardwalk right now that's in part of the Rice Creek swamp, and it has one of Florida's largest cypress trees. Let's see if I can get it on camera. Take a look. It is the tree directly in the middle of the screen. It's over 100 feet tall. This section of trail is really nice. I like this. It's got the creek that the trail's following alongside of, and lots and lots of boardwalks. Really cool stuff. Otters, look. Oh, I missed him. He was right there. There he is down there. That is so cool. There's another one. Coming to the end of Rice Creek Conservation Area, and up just ahead I'll cross State Road 100, and it looks like the trail for about 3 miles or so will follow alongside 100. Another old railroad trestle. I'm inside the Magnolia Creek State Forest, and I'm crossing the Magnolia Creek. I've hiked 500 miles on the Florida Trail. From here I can see the Magnolia Creek at the bottom of this ravine. That is deep. Check that out. Huh. Wow. Just don't expect to see things like that in Florida sometimes. Crossing the iron bridge over Fallen Branch. And here is the Iron Bridge Shelter. This is where I'll be staying tonight. I came out on Fieldhouse Road. The Fieldhouse Road trailhead is about a quarter of a mile behind me, and I'm just about to cross Holloway Road, and I'm still in the Magnolia Creek State Forest. Another huge sinkhole. We'll go around. Up here the trail kind of traces around this thing. I'll find a spot to get some water. I think I've only got about 1/3 of a liter in my water bottle right now. So this would be a good place to fill it up. I'm at the Tinsley Road trailhead, exiting the Magnolia Creek State Forest, and I've got about an 8-mile road walk ahead of me to reach the Goldhead Branch State Park, and I'll be camping at one of their sites tonight. I am inside the Goldhead Branch State Park. Just came in through the back entrance about a quarter of a mile back. That is Little Lake Johnson behind me. I'm heading to the primitive campsite inside the park, and I stopped off at the Sandhill camping area. They have a bathhouse in that one, so I showered, cleaned up a bit, and I guess this is what the park is named after. This is the Goldhead Branch. So, little creek. And you can actually see a little bit more over here. Clear water. Well, I'm just about all set up at the primitive campsite. Coming into the site, they have this big pavilion there with a couple tables and a trash bin. And I think I made a good choice by going primitive instead of staying at one of the other sites. There's nobody here. I had read that the other sites, like Sandhill, where I stopped to take a shower, can really fill up and be busy on the weekends. In fact, while I was in there, people were really starting to come in. So I think that was right, that they do get busy. This is a pretty nice spot back here. And there's my tent back there. And that's pretty much the primitive area inside Goldhead Branch State Park. Heading out of the park this morning, and today I've got 22 miles ahead of me to make it into Hampton. And today also I'll be hiking through the section in Camp Blanding. For about the last quarter of a mile hiking on the trail, you could hear the sound of water, and it's from the Goldhead Branch Creek or stream. And right now I'm standing on a bridge that crosses that. Hiking by the Devil's Wash Basin. Just crossed State Road 21, and I'm at the gate for Camp Blanding, and it is open. Really nice trail through here so far. Take a look. Just on the other side of those trees behind me is Lake Lowry. The trail's been following the bottom portion of that lake. Standing at the north end of Magnolia Lake. And I think I'm going to take a short break here and then continue on. The trail will follow around the west side of the lake and down to the southern end, and then eventually back out to State Road 21. Just walked into this kind of open field area, and trail's going right through the middle of it. All these weird little buildings around. And just weird little stuff. That's building number 540 behind me. Doors open. These things are just randomly scattered about. Couple more over there. Lost Lake. Well, I'm at the end of the Camp Blanding hike. It's a good 6 miles of trail. I enjoyed it. Some nice scenery, and the trail through and around the lakes is very nice. And from here, it looks like I got a road walk. I'll cross the stile and then hit State Road 21 and move on from there. Leaving Clay County. Stopped and had lunch at that convenience store behind me. Just got a Cuban sandwich, some chips, Coke. Oh, and also some of those packets of peanuts are usually like 2 for $1. I got several of those. I like to carry those with me and eat during the day. But I was tempted to resupply there because I did eat my last tortilla last night. But Hampton's only about 6 miles ahead of me, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and resupply there since that's where I'll be staying tonight. Heading back into the woods after a 5-mile road walk from Camp Blanding. Now the trail is merged with the Palatka Lake Butler trail again. Actually, hiked a portion of this near Palatka after I crossed State Road 100 leaving Rice Creek. crossing Double Run Creek. That is County Road 18 behind me. Alright, I am in the city of Hampton. And walked off the trail just a few hundred yards or so to a small store. And did a limited resupply. Mainly what I was short on was just breakfast type foods, things I snack on during the day. I've got plenty of hot meal type stuff that from when I resupplied in Lake Mary. So I picked up pretty much everything I need with the exception of tortillas. They had no tortillas. Back on the trail this morning after hiking back in from the Hampton Lake B&B. I actually ended up taking a zero there yesterday. It was a nice place. I enjoyed my time there. The owner actually took me into the Walmart in Stark, and I was able to get some tortillas and a couple other things that I needed. So I am well supplied. Got everything I need. This is the Sampson River. About to start a almost 5.5 mile road walk here where the trail intersects with County Road 235. And from what I read, it looks like a railroad trestle collapsed. I guess that crosses the new river. So to avoid that, I'll do this road walk and then eventually meet back up with the trail that is still following along the Palatka to Lake Butler trail. Entering Union County and about to cross the New River. Done with the road walk. Now back on the Palatka to Lake Butler trail. And Lake Butler is a little less than 4 miles ahead of me. And I'm thinking about where I'm going to camp tonight. I know there's a spot that's just outside of Lake Butler, or there's a couple options inside Lake Butler if you get permission. I ended up camping just outside of Lake Butler, just a little over 2 miles outside of it. And right through there is where I stealth camped. Not too far back, there's a nice clearing in some pines that are back there. And the area was flat and somewhat high ground, which I felt lucky to have about 2 o'clock this morning when a thunderstorm rolled through. And it was a hard rain, maybe for about 15-20 minutes, then it slacked off and did a light rain maybe a couple hours after that. hiking through Lake Butler. To the end of my hike through Lake Butler. Just stopped at that Family Dollar behind me. I ran out of toothpaste this morning. I didn't even realize it. I could have got it while I was at the Walmart in Stark a few nights ago. But pretty convenient having a store like that directly on the trail. And the trail itself is going to turn into a road walk here shortly. About, I think it's a 7-mile road walk up SR 100. So I'll be starting that. Looks like in just a few minutes. Off of SR 100 now, after the road walk from Lake Butler, and think I'm gonna take a break here and pull out my tent, set it out to dry. Last couple of miles of trail have pretty much since State Road 100 have been through this pine forest. And it looks like the next couple miles or so are going to be pretty much the same thing. Just leaving the Olustee campsite. Camped there last night, and it's just a little spot at the end of an old railroad trestle that crosses the Olustee Creek. And when I got there yesterday, there was already another hiker there. His name is Night Terrors, and he's hiking the Florida Trail southbound. He's the first hiker I've met on the trail that's going southbound. It's pretty cool. Crossed County Road 231, and in 1.7 miles I'll hit US 90. After a short road walk on US 90 and a road that runs alongside US 90, I came to the Olustee Battlefield Visitor Center. Took a short break there, and now I'm heading back to where I left off on the trail. And I didn't realize it on the way in here that I had already entered the Osceola National Forest, and the trail is going to continue along through there, and about 9 miles ahead of me is the Osceola Shelter. So that's what I'm going to try to make today and spend the night there. You can hear the steady rumble of traffic. And I just checked the map and it's I-10. It's behind me, directly north of me actually, less than half a mile. And I'll cross I-10 on the trail in a little less than 2 miles from here. That's I-10. About to arrive at the Osceola Shelter. And there it is. Check it out. Left Osceola Shelter about 10 minutes ago and had a nice night there. And this morning it's a little cooler than it has been the last few mornings. 41 degrees, but for some reason it just feels a little cooler than that. I can see my breath. The sun's coming out. I know it's going to warm up to close to 70 today, so it should be a nice day. In fact, the last few days have been great. Lots of sunshine, mid 70s for the temperature. It's been great. I'm at the end of the Osceola National Forest at the Deep Creek Trailhead. And from here, I'm going to start a 6-mile road walk towards the Swanee River.